All right, guys, I'm artist ready over here. Are you guys ready? Yes? You guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to meet your round two artists right about now? Yeah, let's get crazy, man. All right, guys, let's hear it all for these artists. We're going to get started in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, art battle! Round two. Here we go. Get yourself a drink.
And we are off for round number 2 of Art Battle in San Francisco. I have to say, I'm really, really jazzed about these artists. Quite a few of them in this round are new also, which is very exciting. And we can see that this artist is off to a bit of a challenging start already. Their easel is starting to tip over. You know, there's always wildcards. There's always challenges at the in the Art Battle arena. So who are we looking at now? I'm not sure which artist exactly this is yet because they have their reference material actually covering their name card. So big level of preparation here, which I actually really appreciate. There is lots of prep material that this artist has created for this round. Which I always appreciate an artist who comes prepared, and that definitely means that they've been thinking about their art battle approach, how they want to convey what they're going to be painting at the easel, and a huge amount of work done on this canvas already. We have quite a lot of color down. We've got this kind of rusty brown going, and then some kind of abstracted shapes that are happening in the center of the canvas. And if we're checking it out at the top where they have their reference material taped up to the easel, we can see a portrait also. So I'm really interested to see where this piece goes. And we can see that this artist has scrubbed away a lot of the paint that they had originally applied, and that has left this really wonderful kind of ghosting image, and has just left the impression of the paint behind. Just from the style of painting, I'm actually thinking that this might be Maisie. And coming over here, I believe that this has to be Jess Bolt. Jess is actually an experienced art battle artist. This is her 5th art battle. She loves painting an art battle. And Jess is known for collaging techniques with painting. So that's definitely what we have going down here. And we can see that Jess is applying these, what looks like newspaper clippings. Some of them are a little bit yellowed too, and we have that kind of vintage car going on also. So I think that Jess has really dug into her kind of archive of clippings for us here tonight, and we're getting quite an interesting approach. And we can see that she's smoothing those out with her fingers, getting this sponge application technique. And again, this is only the first 3 minutes, and I think that Jess is really using this time to kind of prepare the ground for what she's going to be painting on top of. So this is going to be a really interesting approach, and I absolutely am so excited to see where Jess's piece goes. And this artist here has quite a lot of blue going down on the canvas, and really heavy application technique, lots of texture in here as well. So looking forward to seeing whether or not that texture stays present, or if it's going to be obscured and blended into each other. We have kind of areas of color that are more blended in, and then areas where you're seeing that kind of evidence of the brushwork. And getting that kind of gorgeous phthalo green mixed with a cerulean blue. I love the way that that's coming through on the canvas. We're getting almost this kind of glow. It's definitely giving me like Monet feels. I think that this might actually be our wildcard artist. Stepping back, we can see this kind of highlight and push and pull of the weight of the color that's being applied to the canvas. We have this darker portion right at the bottom, and then those highlights are kind of sitting on top. And I think that this is Oksana Borisenko, and Oksana is going in with some geometric abstracted shapes in a really playful color palette here. Lots of kind of pastel hues and super bright in that yellow. So already I think that we can determine that this is going to be a very playful piece. Oksana's studio work is very psychedelic. There's definitely a kind of fantastical fantasy element to it. There are a lot of figures that are kind of floating and interacting with each other in all of these interesting ways. And really almost like a maximalist approach from Oksana in her studio work. So interested to see how that translates to the live painting arena. We can see that she's working really, really hard right now on keeping these shapes very clean. And I actually really like that I'm not sure what they are at this point. And that's one of my favorite things about watching a painting evolve is as we, the audience, revolve around the easels, we get to see these paintings at all of these different points of finishing, and so many little bits are revealed as we come and visit them again. Over with Michael Walker now. And Michael is someone that we have seen at the Art Battle San Francisco easel before. He was a previous finalist. Always exciting to have a finalist back at the easel again. And Michael describes his work as cubist futurist, influenced by creating mood via color and shape. And I think that that's such an apt description for the kind of work that Michael does. And right now we're seeing these kind of abstracted shapes and almost that cubist influence, even though we're just in the very beginning stages of this piece. And as we get closer, also, we can see the underdrawing that Michael has applied here. So it's a little bit difficult to pick up in the camera, but we can see that there's definitely some pencil drawing going on in the center of this shape here. So Michael's definitely got a game plan. Ooh, and I feel like I'm seeing an abstracted face in there. Does anyone else see that? Would love to chat with you guys in the comments about what you're seeing being revealed from these two abstract approach pieces from Oksana and Michael. 8 minutes into the round now, and looks like all of these artists have really got quite a good start going. We have a lot of canvas covered and a lot of compositions kind of established. Michael working in this warm color family, enjoying that kind of rusty red, and then we have a little bit more of a coral kind of color, and now of course he's going in with this like fluorescent pink, and I think that that's going to be a really fun color story for him to keep playing with. And we have a packed crowd tonight, a packed house, lots of amazing energy. There's a great energy here in the crowd tonight. We can definitely see that the artists are feeding off of this energy as well. Everyone's looking like they're really having a great time for sure. And this is Anna up at the easel right now, and Anna is absolutely exploding off of this canvas right now. As we're coming around in this kind of challenging angle, we can see that she's painting a peacock, and the peacock is just in the bottom kind of center. The body of the peacock is in the bottom center of the canvas. And then she's got this explosion of color and pattern that is just like radiating out from the bird. And I think that this is going to be a really, really eye-catching piece for the crowd. I think that it translates well from a distance, and also up close we have these great detailed components, and then of course this just like pow in your face use of color, and I think that Anna is going to be a crowd favorite for sure. Even in just the way that Anna has approached the feathers on the actual back body of the peacock here, the collection of those tight feathers and the way that they begin to expand and radiate outward, it's a really mature piece. We have seen quite a few peacocks at Art Battle before, and oftentimes it's almost as if the bird itself becomes kind of an afterthought. to the starring tail and all of the pattern that's going on in the tail. But I think that Anna has done a really great job of balancing the execution of the painting of the actual bird and then the very exciting component of that very theatrical tail. And here we are back with Maisie, who was our artist that we were trying to figure out who it was because they have their reference material over their name tag. But now I definitely am recognizing that this is Maisie, just totally based on this style. Maisie has this really cool, intuitive way of painting that is very based in mark making. And when I say that, what I mean is as she's painting the piece, she's really allowing it to tell her what it needs next. So it's not so much of a plan, it's about working with the art to create the art in a sense. And she's really a painter's painter. You can see all of these very what we call painterly marks, and that's when the evidence of the brushwork is there, colors being mixed on canvas, aggressive brush strokes also. And I think that Maisie's doing a fantastic job of creating this abstracted figure. We're having a lot of abstract work in this round, and I am here for it. And the pose of this figure is so interesting too. And the way that it takes up space in the frame is really interesting. We have the knee coming to the bottom corner and also to the top corner, and then the head taking up the other top corner. So the arms aren't very present, and it's really helping to create the torso as a focal point by leaving those out. So we have just about 6.5 minutes left on the clock for round number 2 of Art Battle in San Francisco. Voting is now open, so head on over to artbattle.com/AB2426 and cast your vote. The top 2 artists from this round, as well as the top 2 artists from our previous round, will be moving forward into a third and final round where they will have a new canvas and another 20 minutes on the clock. So as you're watching these artists, not only are you thinking about whose piece is the most visually arresting, but also whose performance are you enjoying the most? Who are you really excited about seeing, and who do you want to see paint again? And I know that I'm pretty excited about who we're watching right now, and that is Jess Bolt. And we are checking out the painting component of this mixed media piece. Always such a pleasure to see unconventional painting styles displayed in Art Battle, especially with this collaging element. It's a very new, or at least new to the Art Battle sphere way of painting, because previously in competition we allowed only acrylic paint, and now we have expanded into kind of this multimedia allowance of materials, and Jess has definitely taken advantage of that. And the way that she's overlapping these collage elements with the painting just works so well. I think that she's doing a really great job of creating that balance of contrast by using this black paint over top of these clippings. And I really feel that Jess is using the negative space, the blank space of the canvas as its own compositional element, and allowing parts of her painting to cascade out onto that blank canvas, as well as being on these collaged elements. And it creates a really interesting tension there. So back with our wildcard artist, who had, last time we were here, it was a blue color field, and having a little bit of trouble seeing with the light, but we've got a lot more going on the canvas. We have definitely some more textural components. Lots of yellow has been added as well. Potentially some florals going on with this piece. I think we're gonna have to get a better angle just to be able to truly see what's going on here. We can still see that the earlier color field that our wildcard artist painted is definitely helping the composition, creating that kind of fullness in the space. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Again, voting is open at the link that is on your screen, artbattle.com/AB2426. And also, all of the works created tonight are also available for silent auction at that same link as well. And I have heard from Art Battle headquarters that the auction is really popping off. So if you have your eye on any of these pieces, make sure that you head to that link and bid early and bid often for a chance to take any of these works home. You don't need to be in the room. We will ship them to you. We can see that our camera person is navigating through the super dense crowd. A great energy going on tonight. We've got just about 2 minutes remaining on the canvas, so these artists are really just honing in on their ideas, adding their final finishing details. Very exciting part of the round, because also in the last few minutes, things can really go awry. Artists, in an effort to finish their piece, sometimes they make a few surprise decisions that may work or may not. So it's really crunch time. And it's also kind of the element of risk in the last few minutes as well. Back with Oksana. And so happy that we're getting a chance to see how Oksana is finishing this piece. And I think that it is 2 figures back to back. Definitely very abstracted, but in a way that I'm really, really enjoying. And I think that Oksana has brought her studio style of this kind of whimsical, intuitive illustration that is often very maximalist in her studio. I think that she's pared it back here an appropriate amount for the live painting so that she could really concentrate on her core elements. And I definitely think that she's done that here. We're getting the purest form of her style here. Yeah, the graphic quality of this piece is really singing, especially with some of the minimalist line work that's happening and the little columns and blank spaces.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's our battle versus down. Woo! Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. Way to go, guys. That's some great art out right there. The voting is open for round 2. Make sure you vote. And the bidding for round 2 work will start soon. Great job, artists. Bring your paints back. We'll announce the round 1 and round 2 artists very shortly in about 20 minutes. Finals coming up soon. Grab a drink. Now,
a fantastic second round for Art Battle in San Francisco. It's going to be really tough to choose which artists move forward, but it is your job as an Art Battle spectator to vote for your favorite artist. Vote for your favorite painting, vote for your favorite performance, and you can do that at that link that is on the screen right now, artbattle.com/AB2426. These artists have painted their hearts out for you tonight in front of this giant crowd and in front of our online audience as well. So make sure that you reward their creativity and courage with your support and your votes. We will have round number 3, our final round, coming up in just a few minutes, so make sure that you stay tuned. Right now, we are going to be counting the votes from round number 1 and also counting the votes from round number 2, what we just saw as they are rolling in, and we will announce our finalists very, very shortly. So stay tuned. We will be back for our final round with our top 4 artists and another 20 minutes and another 4 blank canvases coming right up. So our finalists were just announced, and moving forward into the third round will be Baya Irita, Gio Angeles, Maisie Zucchini, and Oksana Fursenko. 4 artists who are also first-time art battlers. It's such a rarity that this happens, that all 4 of our finalists are new to the competition. So I absolutely cannot wait to see what they bring to our final round. And that will be starting in just a few minutes, just about 7 minutes until we begin our final round. Those artists are going to have another 20 minutes on the clock and we'll be facing another blank canvas. So stay tuned. Round number 3, our final round, starting in just about 7 minutes. We have our artists stepping up to the easels right now, readying their canvases, readying their palettes, and we will be beginning round number 3, our final round of Art Battle in San Francisco, in just a few moments. Our finalists going up to the easels are Baya Arita and Gio Angeles from round number 1, and from round number 2, Maisie Zacchini and Oksana Fursenko. So very, very excited to see these guys painting again in our final. Once again, all of them are brand new to Art Battle, so love seeing that. These guys have brought their courage and creativity so far, and I'm sure that they're just going to blow us out of the water for what they bring in our final here. They're going to have another 20 minutes on the clock to tackle these blank canvas, and that will be starting in just a few moments.